Other shows we have for you to enjoy at myclassicradio.net. The Avengers was most certainly not a household name in South Africa prior to the radio series. With no national television service until 1976, the mechanism simply was not present in the country to show television programs to mass audiences. While many other countries reveled in the filmed adventures of John Steed and company, South Africa was not equipped to join in the fun. The series took Britain by storm and made a major impression in the American markets, being that greatest of rarities, a British series given a network transmission slot. However, as a filmed series, rather than a videotaped one, The Avengers was able to gain a modicum of exposure in South Africa through film rentals. Come and listen at myclassicradio.net. Other shows we have for you to enjoy at myclassicradio.net. 21 Precinct was a police drama broadcast on CBS from July 7, 1953, to July 26, 1956. It initially served as a summer replacement for My Friend Irma. The show was produced in cooperation with the Patrolmen's Benevolent Association of City of New York and adaptations from True Criminal in New York. The Policeman's Point of View. Historically, the 21st Precinct had been located near Gramercy Park, Manhattan. In 1929, the department reorganized the precinct numbering, and 21st designation was discontinued. No such precinct existed during the run, nor does a 21st precinct exist. However, the fictional precinct's territory closely corresponds to that of the Upper Side's 23rd precinct since 192. Come and listen at myclassicradio.net.
There's no community like a Cenex community, and that's why every Cenex store is so proud to serve theirs by supporting local athletic teams, promoting the arts, and making sure each store is a place its neighbors can find what they need, catch up with their friends, and stay connected. It's also why we give back, helping to make the wonderful places we call home the best they can be. Your local Cenex doesn't just work in your town, it lives there. The store next door, powered locally at Cenex.
Your Coca-Cola bottler presents Claudia, based on the famous play and novels by Rose Franken. Brought to you transcribed Monday through Friday by your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. Relax, and while you're listening, refresh yourself. Have a Coke. And now, Claudia.
David, are my eyes open?
Yeah, somewhat.
Such an effort. It's like pulling up Venetian blinds that are stuck.
Too much nightlife, young woman.
I don't care how sleepy I am this morning. Coney Island was an inspiration last night, darling.
Do your bones ache?
How'd you know?
Oh, I knew.
Every last one of them. I can hardly bend over to tie my shoes. Oh, I creak.
Sissy.
It's all the baby's fault, too.
Oh.
If I hadn't been having to be quiet having him all summer, my bones would be in much more agile condition.
Yeah, that's right. Blame the poor, helpless little baby for the normal effects of old age. Think you'll be able to sit down for breakfast, or do you want to go back to bed?
Oh, I wouldn't be able to get back into bed. Besides, I'm starving.
After all the frankfurters and ice cream
That
you
was
ate?
last night. This is this morning. I developed a furious appetite, in case you're interested. Listen to our rooster. He's in very good voice this morning.
We ought to give him a watch for Christmas. He starts crowing much too early.
Sun rises early. I love summer.
You better love it while you can. There are just a couple more days in August.
Is that all?
A week from Monday's Labor Day.
Already? Oh, no, it can't be.
All right, then. It can't be if you'd rather.
But, David, that means the summer's almost over.
Exactly.
I can't bear it.
You'd be surprised.
Why didn't you tell me sooner?
Tell you what.
About Labor Day.
What would you have done about it?
I would have grabbed the bull by the horns, that's what.
I don't like to seem thick, but which particular bull have you in mind?
That settles it.
Claudia, I am hanging on to my teeth, but you've left me way behind. Just what are you talking about?
Summer, to think it's almost gone.
Well, that's life.
Summer's so fast and winter's so slow. I've let it trickle through my fingers like water. Oh, David, our first summer in Eastbrook, and it's almost over.
Well, we'll have others.
They won't be the first.
So there'll be the second and the third and the fourth.
You have no soul, Mr. Norton.
But I do have a stomach, and it wants breakfast.
I'm ready.
Think your creaky joints can navigate the creaky stairs?
David, listen, if it rains one drop between now and fall, if it rains one day during your vacation...
What do you do besides wear a raincoat?
A pine away, that's what. Summer really goes so fast. There's time for nothing to do but try to realize it.
Now you're learning about life.
Mrs. Norton, oh, good morning.
Bertha, isn't it a beautiful day?
Morning, Bertha.
Good morning, Mr. Norton. Yeah, it is a beautiful day. But it is beautiful up here, even when it rains.
And Bertha has learned even more about life.
Mrs. Norton, I have a message for you.
From who?
Well,
who?
I have his name written down. He called so many times last night while you were out.
I wonder who it could be.
He says, very important, you should telephone him early this morning.
This is getting very exciting.
Oh, he was excited too, I think.
Ooh.
I told him he must wait until this morning. He did not like that.
I think there's some mysterious stranger in your life that I know nothing of, Mrs. Norton.
There is, but I know nothing of either, Mr. Norton.
Now, you sit down to breakfast, and I look for the paper with his name on.
Exciting, isn't it?
Oh, thrilling.
Where did I put it?
A man. Who could it be? Fuller Brush Man.
No.
Pass me the cream, will you, darling?
What man would be calling you up in the middle of the night?
David, you're more curious than I am.
I should be. I'm your husband.
Is that what you are? How sweet of you to remind me. I'd almost forgotten.
The name...
Want some cream, husband?
It was a name... it was a very curious name. Mr. Jam...
Oh, that's a very attractive name, Jam. I like
Jam who, or should I say what kind of jam?
I wonder how many jams I know.
Apple jam, peach jam, huckleberry jam, boysenberry jam, gooseberry jam, and pajamas.
There was something more to it. Varnish.
Varnish?
Varnish, yeah. V-A-R-N-E-Y. Yeah, that is
Varnish,
it. He says you should call him. Yeah.
Jam Varnish.
Yeah.
Well, for Jim Varney, that was pretty close, Bertha.
Yeah.
What do you know?
Don't say I didn't tell you.
Now, I go get the coffee.
Tell me what, David?
I told you the other night when we met him at his summer theater, he'd be after you.
Oh, nonsense. He probably wants to invite you out to lunch with him or something.
That's not the way it looks from where I sit.
David, take that funny look off your face.
Well, aren't you going to call him?
What for?
Find out what he wants so anxiously.
Who cares what he wants? Not I, certainly.
Well, I care.
You're so curious all of a sudden.
You bet I am. Predatory men calling up my wife.
Oh, David, I love it when you act like a husband.
Then do as I say and call him up.
I haven't got time to call up people I'm not interested in what they have to say. Summer's almost over.
All right then. Don't call him up.
I suppose it would be rude not to.
You don't mind being rude, do you?
Oh, all right, I'll call him. Just for you.
Yeah, of course, just for me.
Coffee will get hard, the eggs will get cold, and everything. Jim Varney's sort of nice, isn't he?
Not bad if you like the type.
Do you?
It is difficult for me to judge what he must seem like to a woman.
Oh. Well, I can't tell about him either. I'm a wife.
But if he has any ideas...
What kind, David?
You skip it.
Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Excuse me, is Mr. Varnish there? I mean, Mr. Varney.
Mr. Jam Varnish is
Who's
his name.
calling him?
It's Mrs. David Norton.
Oh, hello, honey. This is Jim.
You called me last night, Mr. Varney.
Well,
And,
at least 10 times.
10 times?
How would you like to come over to the theater this
Oh,
morning?
dear. Well, I'm sort of busy.
Busy.
Sure, I know you are. You've got a baby.
That isn't what I meant, Mr. Varney.
Well, you're not too busy to play a part in my next play, are you?
What did you say?
I say that I've got a part for you in my next play.
I thought that's what you said.
A sweetheart of a part, too.
What's he saying, darling?
He's got a sweetheart, David.
What?
I mean, for me.
Well, maybe I'd better talk to him.
Hello? Hello?
I'm still here, Mr. Varney. David,
Good.
don't go away.
So that's it.
What did you say, honey?
I haven't said anything yet.
Well, I'll tell you what happened. The girl I had in the part called this morning and said she was sick.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What are you sorry about?
She said she thought she'd be all right in a few days, but when I remembered that you lived right around the corner, I told her not to bother recuperating so fast. So how about it?
It's awfully sweet of you to think of me, Mr. Varney, but
Call me Jim.
it's still awfully sweet of you, but I...
What's sweet of him?
David, I'll tell you. Just be
Yes, honey, I can't hear you.
I don't think I really could, Jim.
No, it's Jim, is
Look,
it?
I know last June I said thumbs down when you wanted to work in my theater, but, well, if you're doing this just to get even with me...
I'm not that kind of a girl.
Claudia, what is he suggesting?
It's not what you think, David.
Come on now, say you will, honey. Just as a favor to me.
I can't, Mr. Varney. Next week is David's vacation, and besides, summer's almost over.
Oh, we're back to that again.
Exactly,
Let's go around.
so this is the last chance you'll get.
Jim, thank you ever so much for thinking of me, but I'm afraid my answer is no.
No what?
David, you're worse than I am. Go away.
Well, you really mean no?
I think so. I appreciate your calling.
When you say no to a man, apologies don't help.
Shut up.
What was that, honey?
I wasn't talking to you, Jim. It's just to a nuisance around here. That's you, David.
I'm Mr. Varnish.
Claudia, if you change your mind in the next hour, call me, huh? I won't call anybody until I hear from you.
Thanks, but that's not necessary, Jim.
So long, honey, and my best to your husband.
Honestly, I never heard anyone behave the way you do. He sent you his regards, David.
Great.
Let's have breakfast,
Sure, I'm ready.
All the things in the... I never dreamed this would happen. If it did, I never thought I'd say what I did. David, don't you want to know what happened?
Only if you want to tell me.
Of course I want to tell you, Dope. You'd never guess.
Good, that saves me trying.
You are looking at an actress, Mr. Norton.
I am?
At least one who could have been one if she'd said yes instead of no.
Yes to what?
Don't look so suspicious. Jim Varney offered me a part. A sweetheart of a part opening on Labor Day night.
And you said no?
You heard me?
Well, why on earth did you refuse?
Because I wanted to.
You wanted not to be in a play?
What's so surprising about that?
Well, I thought the greatest dream of your life was to be another Catherine Cornell or something.
Well, that was before I knew any better.
But only a couple of months ago you were saying...
Couple of months. It'll be a long time.
Well, not that long. What's got into you?
The summer's nearly over, David. I can't waste it pretending I'm somebody else. There isn't enough time for that.
Oh.
You and I, we've got too many things to do together.
Now, darling, if you think you're doing this for me...
For us.
Call up Jim Varney, darling. Tell him you'll do it.
But David, I don't really think I want to.
Sure you do. You just think you don't. We're going to have many more summers and many more vacations to spend together.
I want them all.
Greedy?
I am greedy. For you. You said next week you were going to take your vacation. I'm not going to tie myself up while we could be having a wonderful...
Well, maybe I'd like you to. Maybe then I'd have a real vacation.
You don't mean that, do you?
Maybe I do. But what I do mean, darling, is grab your chance while it's offered to you. Someday you might be sorry you didn't.
I doubt it. Not as long as you are... you.
Look, you know, I'd rather spend every minute of my vacation with you rather than anybody else or doing anything else. But this is different. It's important to you. It's your dream. Now, don't give it up for me.
David, you don't want to be married to an actress. You said so.
I married a woman. If she's an actress, too, well, so much the better. Then I'll retire from architecture and take care of my garden.
I wonder if I could do it.
You bet your sweet life you can.
You won't be embarrassed if I'm bad.
No, you'll be great. I know it. I'll be famous as Claudia Brown's husband.
Fat chance.
Now, do it, darling. Not for me. For yourself.
There goes our summer.
The best laid plans of mice and men.
Oh, David, you're the most generous, the most understanding husband I ever married.
Now kiss me and shut up.
Even for you women who enjoy shopping, there come moments when it doesn't seem worth the effort. Moments when you want brown and they have blue. When you want to pay $30 and they ask $50. At such moments, you'll find it wise as well as pleasant to pause and refresh yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola. Shop refreshed and you take new heart. You resolve to make a wise selection. And if you have to go home empty-handed, you'll go home in better spirits if you shop refreshed. Hello?
Well, Mr. King, congratulate me. This is Varney speaking.
What's up?
I just got a call from Claudia, and she said yes.
Then I do congratulate you. I think you've gotten yourself a fine little actress for the part.
Claudia's more than that. I think we're going to get along fine.
What kind of a part is it?
Well, Claudia doesn't know yet, so why should you?
Uh-oh. Well, patience is a virtue.
Well, you don't mind waiting until tomorrow to find out? Or, do you?
Oh, I do mind, but I will wait. See you then, Mr. Varney.
I'll see you, Joe.
Every day, Monday through Friday, Claudia comes to you transcribed with the best wishes of your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. So listen again tomorrow at the same time. And now this is Joe King saying au revoir. And remember, whoever you are, whatever you do, wherever you may be, when you think of refreshment, think of Coca-Cola. For Coca-Cola makes any pause the pause that refreshes. And ice-cold Coca-Cola is everywhere. This broadcast of Claudia was supervised and directed by William Brown Maloney. And now, here's a word from your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola.